What is up guys, Andy Forrest Team Runner here, and today we're talking all about daily trainers. Today we're going to be answering the question, what is a daily trainer? Why do I need one in my running shoe rotation? How do I personally use them in my lineup? And most importantly, with the evolution of running shoes over the past few years, how is that impacting the daily trainer? Welcome back to another video, and today we're diving in and talking all about daily trainers. What is a daily trainer? How does it slot into your rotation? And how do I personally use them in my rotation with my current training style? But what I really want to address in today's video is talk a little bit about the evolution of the daily trainer. I've run in a fair few daily shoes over the past few years, and I'm really starting to notice a distinct pattern as we're creeping into 2021. And I want to share my thoughts with you and see if you guys agree or disagree. So before we get into this video, make sure you get in there with your comments and then let's get that discussion going, because this really is going to be a hot talking point today. This type of video, I want to get the discussion flowing, opinions out there, and let's see what you guys think of this topic. If you're excited for today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and we'll get started. So what is a daily trainer and how does it slot into your running shoe rotation? Well, a daily trainer is a shoe that you will end up using on a day-to-day basis. It does exactly what it says on the tin, and depending on your training style, which we'll come to very shortly, it's a shoe that you're going to be able to put a lot of miles in. Now these shoes you tend to find they go the distance. They're made of stronger stuff. They've got more durable materials used on there. The midsoles are going to last a long time. The thick rubber outsoles are going to provide traction for plenty of miles. The majority of people, when they're choosing a daily trainer, are looking to hoping to get in and around 500 plus miles or 800 plus kilometers in those shoes. A classic example is something like the Nike Pegasus 38. Like it or lump it, it's a classic daily trainer that has cushioning in abundance in and around the heel counter area. It's got a well-fitted upper, lots of midsole, and a very grippy outsole, which, as I said, you'd be looking at a good 500-600 miles in something like this, a standard classic daily trainer. And how would you use it in your rotation? Well, again, it depends on the style of training you're doing. If you're doing something like the 80-20 training style, where 80% of your mileage is on the slower side and 20% is on the faster side, then that 80% tends to be taken up with a daily trainer. If you're doing something a little bit more like me, which we'll talk about shortly, how it fits into my routine, then things start to differ a little bit more. But on the whole, it's going to soak up and eat up the majority of your mileage. So that then leads nicely into my training style and how I use daily trainers in my routine. So for me personally, my training style is slightly different. I'm a lot more specific to a goal race I have coming up, especially since now working with a coach. So what that means is if I have a goal pace for a goal race that I have coming up, a training plan is created around that, and we're doing a lot of workouts and moderate runs that are a certain percentage of that goal race pace, meaning there's a lot less plodding, easy miles, and a lot more specificity involved. Again, meaning I don't need a shoe that's maybe a bit more durable, a bit more heavier, because I'm actually going to be looking to run a little bit faster, so my training is a little bit more intense, and I'm not going to want those heavier, more durable shoes. Yes, don't get me wrong, durability is key, and something like the Asics Nova Blast, where I've got now over 400 miles in this shoe, a classic daily trainer, but something that for me, although is heavy like the Pegasus 38, or not quite as heavy but heavier, it has a super bouncy responsive midsole which allows me to run those moderate runs. I'm looking for a daily trainer as I've just alluded to, that is not only going to cover the easy runs that I do in my training, but the moderate runs as well. So my scope for a daily trainer suddenly becomes a little bit bigger. So I'm maybe not looking so much for something that's going to last me as long, because that means it's going to be weightier and more cumbersome, but I'm looking for something that's going to be a little bit more lighter and nimble, something that's still well cushioned like a daily trainer, like the Hoka One One Mach 4. This is my go-to daily trainer at the moment, where we've got the cushioning, we've got the 29mm stack height in the heel, the 24 in the forefoot, well stacked, well cushioned, but super lightweight, 10 ounces on the nose, 284 grams or something like that. So something a heck of a lot lighter than a standard daily trainer, because not only is this going to cushion me for my easy runs, but as I said, it's going to cover the moderate runs as well. So let's shift on to the evolution of the daily trainer, where I think things are going, or from my perspective, where I see things going, and why some brands are causing a little bit of confusion. And this is where we're going to need your opinions. This is where I'd love to hear what you think about the future of daily trainers. So let's start off by this confusion that I feel brands are creating, and the dilemma that it's creating a lot of runners. So in terms of the Nike lineup, in terms of the Pegasus 38, we also have the Vomero, we also have, or the latest version, which is the 15, and we also have the Miler. 3 shoes, very, very similar. Now for me, we have the Miler, which is a max cushion shoe. So for those of you who aren't aware what a max cushion shoe is, you're talking another step up from the daily trainer. There's a lot of crossover in the max cushion to daily trainer world, but we're talking about the maximum stack height you can get, ultra comfort, literally the biggest stack of midsole you can get, thick foam here, thick padding, really, really weighty shoes. And the Miler is exactly that. It's definitely a max cushion shoe, but bordering daily trainer. Then we have the Pegasus and the Vomero. All 3 are very much in the same bracket. The Vomero used to be a shoe that loads of people used to use for long runs. For me now, the Vomero, having tested the 15 and now this, are extremely similar, and the Miler, again, extremely similar, just a little bit heavier again. So there's 3 shoes in the same realm, in the same bracket, really just creating confusion for someone like a new runner going, well, which one do I need? Which one does what thing, and what am I going to get better in the Vomero that I'm not going to get in the Pegasus or the Miler, or vice versa? Similarly to the Hoka lineup, the Mach 4. We've got the Rincon on one side of it, and we've got the Clifton on the other, and this seems to be slotting right in the middle. But the reality is that Clifton and the Mach 4 are very, very similar shoes, and the Rincon, yes, although it's geared up for well, it's a much lighter shoe, the stack height's still there to be technically classed as a daily trainer. Yes, loads of people use it for speed work, but again, we have 3 shoes in the Hoka lineup which are very, very similar. A lot of crossovers from all 3 of those shoes. I feel like the Mach 4 blends in to both a bit of the Rincon and a little bit of the Clifton. So there is definitely that confusion that I think for a new runner going out there looking to purchase a shoe, that they're struggling to work out what the difference is between some of the ranges that these companies have and which one is going to suit them the best. But for me, the evolution more so now comes down to weight and durability more than anything. So again, some great examples. We've got the Solar Boost 3 and the Pegasus 38 that we've both acquired this year, both heavy daily trainers. We're talking 385 grams. We're talking, I think this was 400 and something grams. It was really, really heavy, or 397. Now these 2 are very much what I would class as old school daily trainers. This is what I used to run in many years ago. Shoes that are heavier, durable, maybe not the most fun ride, but certainly cushioned, and are going to get you from A to B feeling good. Whether you like them or not is another thing, but that really is a typical and classic daily trainer. In terms of the more modern spin, and what I feel running shoe companies are going for, is something like the Hoka One One Mach 4, or a shoe that I haven't yet tested, but the Rebel version 2. Yes, I have this shoe in for testing. Now, if you look at both of these shoes, we're talking 10 ounces or 284 grams. We're talking 9.8 ounces or 9.9 in my size, or 270 something grams. 2 other ends of the spectrum, lightweight shoes, but still really good stack height in each shoe, that cushion level, that comfort level that's going to give you what you need. Now for my training style, am I going to think to myself, with the easy and moderate running that I'm doing, Am I going to want a shoe with maximum cushion here, maximum comfort, 20 millimeters in the forefoot, something, I can't remember what the exact stack height on this one is, but something super cushioned that's going to be lightweight and going to get me around my easy runs, feel great, but feel like light as feathers on my feet? Or am I going to want something, or like this as well, or am I going to want something a little bit more like the Pegasus and the Solar Boost? It's a little bit heavier, might feel on a rough day after a workout when you go out for an easy run and you're struggling a bit and your legs are tired, that feel like you're weighing you down. I've been there, I've run in those types of shoes, and I do tend to sometimes mentally struggle when I've got much heavier shoes on. Whereas if I'm running in lighter shoes, my legs feel a bit lighter, and yes, they might feel sore, but I certainly feel like I can get round the miles in as much comfort in these shoes as I can in the others, but with the benefit of shedding a mass load of weight. Now, the massive positive, obviously, for me with heavier shoes is that yes, you're going to get the durability, but mentally it helps slow me down. So again, this is a personal preference thing, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Heavier shoes do keep me running a little bit more honest. If I slip these on, I do tend to sometimes find that I run a little bit quicker, but I do feel like this is the way that daily trainers are going, especially with people experimenting with different styles of running. So the old 80-20 rule is a very much tried and tested running method, great for so many people, but as people get a little bit more experimental, types of training that I do, maybe more specificity involved where there's less easy miles and more specific work around, you're going to be doing less plodding and you're going to be doing a lot more specific work. And therefore, do you want a plodding shoe, or are you going to want something a little bit more lightweight? So that's why I think a lot of these shoes are now coming out, and I'm going to be using something like this or this as a daily trainer rather than something like the Pegasus or the Solar Boost. For me personally, I'm loving the way that this evolution is going. I kind of feel like these lighter daily trainers are certainly the way that I want to go. In my head, why would I want to run in something heavier when I can run in something that's going to give me the same benefits but feel so much better underfoot? Yes, I know a lot of you guys, this is why I want your opinions in the comments below. I know a lot of you guys love the heavier shoe. As I've just said, a massive positive is the fact that it keeps me honest with pace, and I know a lot of you feel the same. But I know from reading so many comments, loads of you are like, I'm not interested in the Pegasus, I'd much rather the Mach 4 or the Rebel version 2. So many of you have asked me to test it, and it's like you're reading my mind and I'm reading your mind. Loads of you guys are kind of starting to run in these lighter weight daily shoes, and it's, for me, it's just a good thing. I just kind of love the fact that we're getting these lighter packages but with the same benefits, that same cushioning. Durability is, I feel like, the only thing we might sacrifice with some of these shoes, but do I mind about that? If I'm still getting a good 300-400 miles rather than 500 plus, am I still happy? For me, yeah, I'm very happy to run in shoes like the Mach 4 or the Rebel V2, which I'm yet to test. I'm being very sumptuous of that shoe, but you get the drift. If it's going to last the distance, I'd much rather run in that than something a lot heavier. But as I said, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think on the confusion that's being caused, or from my angle, from what I can see, the confusion that some manufacturers are causing with a lot of crossovers in their lineup, and which type of shoe from a daily perspective do you prefer to run in? Do you prefer to run in a heavier shoe or a lighter shoe? What do you feel you get the most benefit from? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and let's get that discussion going. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.